Kamala Harris is not running for governor of California. She's not going to try to be a senator again or go down to the House. She's not even going to ask for the next president to make her a Supreme Court justice. But she may actually run for president next time and can make Supreme Court justices, but she can't say that quite yet. But she does have to move some books. And in her new memoir, 107 Days, Kamala Harris delivers a rare rebuke of Joe Biden's 2024 reelection bid. And she calls his decision reckless, claiming it was driven more by ego than judgment. She regrets not urging him to reconsider, but feared telling him the truth would be self-serving, i.e., I don't want you to run, Joe, because I kind of want this job myself. She doesn't shy away from noting that Biden's fatigue was there. She describes moments when the 81-year-old had physical and verbal struggles between just being hard to ignore and just being sometimes really, really scary. Yet, she balanced the criticism with a view that everyone has his worst day, and he was better than Trump on his best days. Now, the separate investigative account on Original Sin by Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson, their book that came out months ago that basically echoed this critique, but came from journalists who may have had another axe to grind from just Biden being Biden, and they, of course, had to push some books as well. It portrays Biden's run as disastrous choice enabled by cover-ups from his inner circle. Everyone didn't want to give in on the idea of Joe Biden, so they made it work until it didn't. The book uses over 200 interviews to allege that aides intentionally hid signs of cognitive decline and physical ineptness for their current president at the time and the hopeful future second-term president. Both books are suggesting that Biden's late run and delayed withdrawal after the disastrous debate handed a steep disadvantage to Harris, only having 107 days to run a campaign, arguing that it was doomed from the start because broader party planning and primary options never came to play. If there was a primary, if they let some people battle it out, they might have had a stronger candidate, or Kamala Harris may have came out with a bit more edge to battle Donald Trump. So the September 23rd is the date for 107 days. It's coming on the shelves in a couple of weeks, so you get a chance to read it yourself. It will be a bestseller. You know, people have bought enough of it in pre-orders so that it'll be bestseller status, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. So that's always there. Shaman Schuster will make some money. Harris will get some headlines. The news will cover this more distinctly as it gets closer to the date because they need to cover the story, so they're pushing her book. Harris has a 15-city tour where she'll sit down and not answer any complete questions, and of course will not tell people she's running for president in 2028 because it's too early for that right now. What do we get out of this story at this point in time? 107 days seems like an honest personal reflection of what happened for the Biden-Harris story. We haven't read it yet. It's going to add some depth and accountability to political decision-making and a rare vice presidential memoir because no one cares. The problem is the timing, the tone, and the point. The point is, what does Kamala do with this? People don't just write books, and that's just a case it is. I mean, I write a bunch of books, but I don't just write books to write a book. I wrote a memoir for my 40th birthday and was trying to write one for my 50th birthday because to make a point. That was there. I write other books because I have a topic in my head that I want to share with folks and it has to get there. The biggest issue is I don't have a Shaman and Schuster and I don't have a big political action committee behind me to buy my books. So they aren't as profitable and as successful as you can say one Kamala Harris would be. But Kamala Harris is not just writing this book for therapy because otherwise she'd put it in a diary and set it away. She's writing it to make points and to win points. And that is exactly what's going to happen. She will make some points. She will win some points. She will lose some points. And the Biden legacy itself will be a whole nother thing as people are trying to fight to keep it alive when they could easily let it thrive by having one term and then pushing somebody within 2 years to say, here's who I want to be this, or pushing a really quick primary sort of style 1 year in to say this person will take over. And unfortunately, throwing Kamala Harris under the bus. She was a bad candidate for president. She was a bad candidate for president. She will be another bad candidate for president. It's not a slight against Kamala Harris for being inept as a politician or a person who can do stuff. She's not a good candidate. It just is what it is. And if your choice was not Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, you see a lot of people who were like, yeah, I'm not voting for Kamala Harris because she wasn't a good candidate. Trump, yeah, that's a whole nother onion to peel, if you will. What this actually shows is that the love between Uncle Joe and his little auntie, little niece, Kamala, wasn't really there. This is more along the lines of a nice little tiff we knew about, and someone told me about a public tiff or a private tiff in the election run-up with John McCain when he was given Sarah Palin as a choice, and that didn't quite work out so well. Italian dressing is great as long as you shake it every so often so it mixes, but after a while it separates because the two liquids just do not actually naturally mix. Here's something case where that didn't quite work as well on paper as the people told us was. We were told to vote for Joe Biden by that guy from South Carolina. He became president. He was okay. And then for whatever reason, the non-okay things didn't work out. And then he proved to be not worthy of a second term. And Trump came in and wiped the floor with Kamala Harris. What will happen in 2028 when Kamala Harris does proclaim she's running for president again? We deal with this all over again. Third time, I'm saying will not be a charm. Don't listen to me. I'm just some guy on the internet ranting. Your comments, let me have them.